They saying that most people are using buy now, pay later to get groceries. I couldn't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe that. You can't convince me of that. Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. This is Rob.
While buy now, pay later loans have been in use for big ticket items for years, new data is showing that a growing number of American consumers are using the payment method for everyday items. A recent survey from LendingTree finds that a quarter of consumers are using these payment plans for groceries. That is up 14% from just a year ago. A survey found groceries to be the fourth most common buy now, pay later purchase among Gen Zers, trailing behind clothing, technology, and home decor. CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady joins us with more on this. I mean, we keep seeing this rise in buy now, pay later items, whether it's for Coachella tickets. But what does it say to you that people are using this now to buy groceries?
Well, guilty. I did use it for Coachella tickets, Nancy.
All right.
I will out myself. But
I was going to say other people, but it's good to know.
Groceries, though. I mean, we saw one of the buy now, pay later services do a partnership with DoorDash, right? Getting food delivery as well. And it really speaks to the fact that people are dipping into these alternative ways than just, hey, I've got the money. I'm going to be able to pay it on my next credit card statement, or I'm going to be able to pay it with the money in my account by using a debit card. And what can be dangerous about these BNPL?
Bullshit. Sorry to curse, y'all. I just got to say, that's nonsense. I don't believe that people are doing it because they got the money. I think that people are doing it because they don't have the money. Why would somebody finance groceries? I've never seen no junk like that in my entire life. Didn't layaway go away? I know Walmart was like, they were the nail in the coffin for layaways. I thought that layaways was the dumbest thing that I've ever seen in my life. People would put on the layaway all of the stuff that they wanted to buy. At least layaway, though, you didn't get the stuff until you finished paying for it. People are financing food. Oh, my God. Don't y'all realize that this is the wave that they're initially basically pushing y'all into credit, and they're pushing y'all into digital services faster than ever, that this is the way that they eventually phase out real dollars, that this is the reason why they're getting rid of pennies? Food. Yo, if you get to the point to where you're doing Klarna or Afterpay on DoorDash or buy now, pay later, it's over, bro. Tell me you got something wrong. Tell me you a crackhead. Tell me you have a severe gambling problem. Tell me that everything is just falling apart in your life and you're about to be homeless. There's got to be something. Facts, Black Beauty. At least on layaway, you had to fully pay for it before you can get it out. Now, it was bad for the stores because the stores basically had your whole package in the back for the next 6 months. So they had to basically, sit on the inventory, which has kind of messed up everything in the inventory, and they want to sit on the inventory. And then sometimes by the time you got your stuff out, then it wouldn't even be worth it anymore. It would be played out. Time moved fast. Don't nobody want to wear your bedazzled jeans anymore. None of that stuff. That's crazy. Don't y'all realize that when you do buy now, pay later, when you do credit for your groceries or for things that you do every single day, that is the true way that you increase the cost of it? The cost of it is A. What you wind up paying for it over a period of time of financing it is going to be exponentially more. That's B. Why would you finance buy now, pay later? And some of y'all doing it to get, she said she did it for concert tickets. What? Wait. You telling me, there's some things in life that if you can't afford it, you shouldn't be going. Stop financing y'all trips. Stop financing concerts. Stop financing festivals. Stop financing all of this stuff. All it was done was it was introduced to you so that they can generate more revenue. Some stuff you just shouldn't go.
services is you feel like you've got more room in your
Winter coat is
budget
paid
than
off
you
in the summer,
actually
bro.
do. Because you say, hey, that's future Kelly's problem. That's future Nancy's problem. And you start to add multiple BNPLs
So
to your docket that month instead of thinking, oh, wow, I've already committed to this payment in the future. But at the same time, it also does allow cash-strapped folks to make some of those purchases that are essential.
Crystal Clear says you only pay interest. You only pay more if you don't pay it off in full. But see, let me tell you what the problem though is, Crystal, is that it gives you this mindset that you're still able to do it because it's teaching you that you're able to afford it because you're financing it. But then you justify it in your mind because you say, well, I'm not going to pay more than I would have originally paid if I just continue to make the payments on time. But you're still buying something that you don't need, which takes resources away from where you're supposed to be investing. Look, if you don't max out your 401k every year, don't buy nothing on buy now, pay later for a concert ticket. I don't think that people that's not maxing out their 401k should be able to go on vacation. I don't believe people that's not maxing out their 401ks every single year should be able to go on vacation. I know that messes up the tourism industry. I know that messes up all of this. Look, bro, I'm just telling you. And I ain't got to worry about messing up nothing because it ain't like y'all not going to stop doing it. But if you're not maxing out on your 401k, what you talking about? So you will finance something that you don't need that's perishable, but you won't finance, meaning that you're making payments to eventually meet the threshold of whatever the limit is for your 401k to ensure that you're not out here begging for Social Security and government assistance and Medicaid and Medicare when you get older. If you're not maxing out on everything, you know why I feel so comfortable doing what I want to do or buying whatever it is that I want to buy? Because everything is being invested in. When I say, hey, man, I was excited about being able to build this, get this permit to build this new house, you know why? Because that house is going to pay me and it's going to pay my daughter and it's going to pay the people for the rest of our lives because we're investing in it. It'll forever pay me. It's an asset. Freedom Land says 41K bullshit. 41K is, it's not even called a 41K. It's called a 401K. Do you know what it is? You dummy. How did that? Man, that's nonsense. But you'll go to the weed store. You go spend your money at Purple Label. Got to make sure that you get some new Cardis. Got to make sure that you get a new chain. But you won't put no money in your 401k. So dumb. So dumb.
Sure. It's one thing when it's Coachella tickets, but it's another thing when you hear that people are using it just to get by on their day-to-day life. I want to ask you about the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. It has downgraded its economic growth outlook for the United States both this year and next year. How significant is that move, and what does it mean?
So it's fairly significant. We are down from 2.8% in 2024 to now what we're expecting to be 1.6%.
Credit is a problem.
Still
Credit
positive,
is absolutely
right? We
a problem.
did see first quarter negative GDP. So I think overall this is good that we're expecting at least some growth. That being said, it keeps getting revised down. And to your point, this is all because of...
You got to wait for your 401k. Yes, because that's how you wind up getting rich through compound interest. That's how you're able to retire. You got to wait if you invested in crypto. You got to wait if you invested in anything. If you buy a stock, if you open up a business, you got to wait for it to mature before it eventually pays off and then it pays you. That's the whole idea, is that the value of it compounds over a period of time, and that's how you get really rich. That's why you got the Warren Buffetts. That's why you had the Charlie Mungers. That's why you have these people that get filthy riches, because they have a patience mindset, because they are both investing in a future while at the same time enjoying a present. You can be responsible. You can do both. I see people say crypto over 401k. No, you can do both. Why wouldn't I take advantage of the match and the free money that they give me to invest? They're incentivizing me to invest in myself. They're giving me a match. They're giving me free money to do it. Why wouldn't I take advantage of that? Why wouldn't I take advantage of lowering my tax burden by making sure that I invest in my 401k because it lowers my adjusted gross income? Why wouldn't I let my money grow tax-free through this vehicle that's incentivizing me to do it? And then I also contribute into this other thing. Why wouldn't I take advantage of every single thing that they have for me that allows for me to be able to get rich as hell? That is so. What are we arguing? Are y'all just argumentative for the sake of being argumentative? It's growing tax-free. If you do a Roth 401k, it grows tax-free. If you do a 401k, it adjusts your adjusted gross income. And you still get the match whether you do either one. So the company is going to give you extra money. They're going to contribute into it by you contributing into it. Why wouldn't I max out at the end of the year?
Tariffs, potential higher inflation, and just that larger uncertainty
Free money,
that
bro.
maybe people go and spend less and the economy contracts some. Doesn't mean that these surveys are always right, but it's certainly a warning sign.
So you talk about tariffs. Speaking of tariffs, President Trump just signed an executive order that overnight raises tariffs on steel and aluminum to 50%. We had known this was coming, but it officially goes into effect at midnight. How will this affect U.S. businesses?
This is not going to be good for car manufacturers. Think about how much steel is used in a car. It's also not going to be good for manufacturers in general. Steel, we also have a 25%.
I don't get y'all. I genuinely don't get y'all. I be so confused at how y'all be making these arguments, and y'all be feeling comfortable. Y'all be saying it like, oh man, I'm cooking today. I'd be like, what are you talking about, big dog? What do you mean? How are you justifying this bad behavior? Why would you say that? What's going on with you? What are you doing? Every single year I made sure that I maxed out. And then you just watch it grow. And then when I got out of corporate America and then I went back in, then when I got back out of corporate America, I said, well, listen, we got to keep the same mindset. So we're going to continue to invest. We're going to continue to put our money into this. We're going to put our money into that. We're going to continue to build this real estate. We're going to continue to buy land and build up the houses and put people in them, because what happens? Y'all don't think about getting older and going broke? Y'all don't think about, because I know everybody young forever. Everybody young forever. Everybody gonna be able to work forever. You know what? I just cross that bridge when it comes to it. You want to be out here looking dusty? You want to be out here with your cup? Veteran here. Lying. You ain't never enrolled in no military, nothing. Veteran trying to make ends meet. Can you please contribute? Anything counts. I don't want to be begging nobody for no food, and then they come and they criticize you. You ain't gonna use it on drugs, are you? No, I just want to get something to eat. You ain't got no dental plan. You can't go and get your teeth fixed. You can't go buy no new clothes. Your shoes is turned over. Now you got to wait for mama and grandma to be able to die off so they can hopefully give you a house so that you can sell it off, so you can live for the next 2 to 3 years. And then next thing you know, somebody came and bought it off and used. That's what happened to the black community. Oh my God, I can't believe what happened. Look at this. How come they have more milk? Because you sold your grandmama's home. You sold it. You sold it for pennies on the dollar. You sold grandma's home. You sold grandfather's home. You lowered the value in your community. Somebody came up, said, hey, we like this. And then you said, look at the white people moving in, gentrification. And you didn't even want it. You called it the hood. You argued with me online and said, Anton, I ain't going back to the hood. And then some white person came and says, oh, look like an investment opportunity, lower costs of living. We're just going to plant some flowers and make sure that we cut our grass. And y'all said, look at all of the white people in here. I hate this. I hate this for us. They needed somewhere to live too. And they said, okay, well, listen, you don't want to value it. We'll put our hard-earned money into it, and we're going to take care of it. And then you called it gentrification. Look at it as gentrification. They're going to push us out. You didn't even want to be there. You don't even like it. You keep talking about moving to Miami so you can get you a baddie. They trying to push us out. I went back home and look how the neighborhood has changed. Key word, you went back home. Back. You went back home, meaning that you left it and you didn't see value in it. Somebody said, oh man, this is a great investment opportunity. And then they quintupled their investment because the value of it exploded when they started to take care of their neighborhood. And now you see institutional investors trying to get in. You see people trying to put a Whole Foods there. Look at this. I should have stayed. The house was paid off, fam. You let it go down. You gave it up. The land bank took it. Then they sold it for $1,000, and now it's worth $470,000. And you trying to figure out where your wealth is. It's a mindset, bro. It's a mindset. It's all white people's fault. They gentrifying. Gentrification. So dumb.